3 years ago, I was in university, and that's when I started getting very serious about working out. I was told my strong points were my chest, my back, and that's just what I was told, but I wasn't satisfied by that. I was mainly focused on my skinny arms. But I couldn't figure it out. I did arm workouts, more volume, anything I could, until a year ago I made a switch and went from this to this with just 2 simple changes in my workout routine. Hey, welcome to the channel. I appreciate you being here. If you get any sort of value from this video, be sure to like the video and subscribe. But if you do want to take the next step farther and get some online coaching, I do offer that in the link below. Everyone's got their genetic strong points, and that heavily determines what people will look like at the end of the day, no matter how much they will try to grow a certain muscle. But it is kind of fun to figure out some secrets to kind of cheat the system and grow something that could be your weak point. For me personally, it was my arms, and this was something that bothered me. I didn't like having skinny arms because I felt like big arms filled out every single guy, and I felt like it was the necessity to have for just getting overall fit. So that's what I focused on for the 3 years that I trained seriously. But it was until last year that I made a change that completely opened my eyes to how to train properly. There's 2 points that I want to share to you, but one of them applies to any single muscle, and one of them applies to specifically biceps because it was my favorite tip that I finally achieved or learnt that took my biceps from being a very big weak point to now being a proud point. One of the points is 2 exercises that directly focus on building your arms if that's your weak point and that's why you clicked the video, but the other applies to any muscle overall. So if you just have like a weak point like your chest, then this is going to help you as well because the second point is super valuable in just fixing any weak point on your body. So let's talk about the first point, which is just the exercises I chose that took me from this to this, and I'm so happy I made this switch because it finally fixed my weak point. And those are only 2 exercises. You could do 2 to 3, but I only did 2. I did a preacher curl where it's heaviest at the start, and a typical tricep pushdown. And this is different because most people think that they need to do a ton of volume to fix a weak point, and that's just not true. You just need to choose the right exercises and program it correctly where you're hitting it frequent enough, which I will talk about frequency in the second point. But I want to briefly talk about why I chose these 2 exercises and why I think they are the best for building your biceps and triceps. For the biceps, a preacher curl where it's heaviest at the start is super helpful because it just loads the weight where the biceps work best. So that's why having a preacher curl where you can change your resistance profile is a little bit helpful. But if you don't have that, you could either do a dumbbell preacher curl or throw a plate on the handles, and this will make your preacher curl a little bit heavier at the start. For the triceps, I chose a pushdown with an easy bar attachment just because I like the easy bar attachment. You can choose an attachment that you like best, but for the pushdown, it's one of those exercises which hits all 3 heads of the triceps pretty well, and that's why it's one of the greatest exercises you could do for your triceps. Now we get into point 2, which is just programming, and it's very, very simple, so don't worry. All you have to do is work out 4 times per week. You do upper, lower, rest, upper, lower, rest, rest. And this hits each muscle 2 times per week, and it's great for that reason. And if you program with a low volume approach, you will know that you're going to be recovering from all your sets that you're doing. And if you see a constant trend of progressively overloading, which means just getting stronger on all your lifts, then you know you're doing something right. One special thing I did though to prioritize a weak point was put my arm exercises first. So on the upper body days, I did my preacher curl first, then my tricep pushdown, and then the rest of the upper body exercises. So if you have a weak point that you want to fix, just put that exercise first. And honestly, this will change your life because it's such a simple change, but since we are freshest at the start of the workout, this gives us the ability to produce the most force for those exercises. So if your arms are a weak point like mine were, all you have to do is do a preacher curl and a tricep pushdown and put them first on a simple program. But if you just are trying to get value from this video by just prioritizing a different weak point, all you have to do is put that weak point first in your workout. I appreciate you staying through the whole video, but if you have any questions, be sure to comment them and make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.